So
Hi
before
everyone,
we
good morning. I think we are having a couple of the people joining in already. I think few folks are earlier than the start time. It's good to know. So folks who have joined, good morning, good afternoon. Possibly, you guys are joining across the region, a broader region. Let's wait for another 30-second or maybe a 60-second, and let's wait for a couple of other folks who are joining in, and then we'll get started. So I think it's about to be 11. It's just 11. We have started seeing the counts go up. Good. Okay. I think we'll get started here. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, possibly for the folks joining from regions on the far east. Hi, everyone. I'm Piyush. I am from QualityKiosk and I lead the partnerships at QualityKiosk. So the topic that we will cover today is something which is very pertinent for the audience which is joining on call today, right? And we just see the numbers just going up. And I'll just give a glimpse of the audience that is there on the call today. We have some leaders from banking, insurance, the applications world, and we also have a couple of consultants who day in a life operate very critical test automation or application support activities, right? So I think that's the audience set today that we have on the call, right? And the point that we have here today is fairly interesting, right? And Salesforce, which is not just any random application, it's actually, if we look at it, it's a shape-shifting uh, organism, or we can say a shape-shifting stack inside an landscape of a large enterprise, right? Now it gives a lot of challenge, right, to all the people who are owning the Salesforce stack, right? So the today's topic is that how two organizations like Qualitia and QualityKiosk, which is often thrown with this challenge, how are we addressing it, right? And how does a product which is just built to solve this issue is taking it head on? And we'll also hear from our consulting leader on what typically customer face as a challenge in this Salesforce lifecycle, right? So, and we have, I think, two of the best brains in the industry to discuss it out. So, joining us is Rahul, who is founder and CEO of Qualitia, and we also have Shiladitya Roy, and Shila leads the automation and consulting services at QualityKiosk. Just to let you know, within them, uh, at least put together, Rahul and Sheila would be meeting 20 net new faces every week in their day in a life to address this challenge. So just extrapolate to the age that they appear on, and just imagine the the quantum of experience that we'll have here on the call, right? So with that, I'll not spend more time. I'll hand it over to Sheila. Sheila, why don't you help us understand what challenges really do you hear from customers? How do you tackle, and if you can just drive the conversation ahead on what is expected of out of couple of tools or solutions or frameworks that addresses this challenge. Sheila, over to you.
thanks, Piyush. And yes, the age between us and the baldness between us, that's also too common denominator. So we'll speak with that. So great. So good morning, everyone. I hope I'm loud and clear and audible. So the way I want to kind of spend the next maybe some time is to discuss in terms of what are the different kind of challenges or different kind of things we look at it when we talk of Salesforce and we talk of Salesforce automation, because Salesforce has been there for the last, let's say, a decade, and it's kind of growing phenomenally. Now, most of the organizations, most of different enterprises are into Salesforce. They're driving with Salesforce. And one of the common challenges, at least I see when I'm speaking with different audiences, different CXOs, is in terms of how can I ensure my Salesforce rollouts happen faster? How can I make sure that my timeline that I've given to my business, the timeline I've given to my customer, those are kind of met? One of the common challenges that I kind of come across is like, hey, we want to automate, but most of the times, or many of the times, I've seen that automations of any Salesforce, the automation testing of any Salesforce takes a quite a lot of time. Salesforce rollout might happen really fast. They might be implementing really fast. It has all the features and benefits, but really to do automation is something that really takes a lot of time. And that's something that I just wanted to kind of maybe takes Rahul's perspective and understand what's so different when we talk of Qualitia, when we talk of Salesforce, what's so different? Why how are we kind of addressing the biggest question in terms of how can I speed up? And also on the same breath, I would also like to understand any automation that I do, it has to start from somewhere. I see very limited reusability that comes in. When I say talk of reusability, Salesforce in itself comes with a lot of building blocks. So what kind of a building blocks do I get if I start using with Qualitia, which really reinforces the speed that I'm trying to drive? And that's something maybe Rahul, you can share your perspective in terms of how we are driving these kind of capabilities through Qualitia.
Sure, certainly. Just am I audible clearly?